G'day, this is Captainoob, and this is a JAK 12, not to be confused with a JAK 12. This is a remastered version of that original mod, which the original was released back in 2022, September of that year. So that's a while ago, but this remastered version features better animations. It also has the ability to throw on 4 grips on this bottom Picatinny rail here. So isn't that nice? So this Call of Duty Dollar Store AA12 is what you'd expect it to be. The recoil on this thing is a little bit higher than what you'd expect out of an AA12, but I'm sure that's just for flavor and possibly for balancing reasons. Also, players of Fortnite might recognize this as a Frenzy Auto shotgun, because yeah, there's an AA12 in Fortnite, and it's actually pretty good compared to its pump action counterpart. So we get into the attachments, and I just want to point out that this combat shotgun, advanced and also suppressed, gives me 312 damage, and if we take the receivers and crank it all the way up to advanced, we're getting 350, which is going to be better, and it's going to be better in DPS as well, because this thing does fire a little bit faster as well, and we can change the magazine capacity to be the exact same as a combat shotgun at 32 here, and there's no reason why you'd never want to put a big 32 round drum on this thing, even though it might be a slightly faster reload with the lesser magazines, but 32 rounds is what we'll go with. There's also a legendary slot provided by legendary modification. We can modify that, but we'll leave that for now. You can throw 1 milliwatt lasers, 5 milliwatt lasers. It'll give you an increase in accuracy. An attack laser, it exposes your position while active and improves accuracy while aiming down sights. I would have thought a choke on a shotgun would be capable of reducing the spread and increasing accuracy when aiming down sights, but perhaps the attack laser does it, because why not? We can extend the barrel out to give us a little bit more range. This ZLRJ 3600 Torrent barrel seems to be the strongest in terms of range, and as a shotgun you want to make sure you get all of the range that you can out of it, because, well, it's a shotgun. If you can make it fire, do more damage at range, it's going to be slightly more versatile. Now, you can throw suppressors on this, which actually increase your range and accuracy rather than the vanilla game, but the reason it does that is because it increases the nominal barrel length, which it makes sense, not for balancing, but in, like, real ballistics, because you all know I'm a ballistics expert. That lie I tell about being a roof plumber, that's not real. So what we'll do is we'll throw on a suppressor. It doesn't matter which one. I think we should go for this one, though, because that appears to give us the highest range bonus, so we'll use this one. It's similar to the suppressors that you'll find on the pump action shotguns in Fallout 76, which is nice. And the grips now. There's angled, there's stubbies, there's slightly angled and stubbies, there's angled ones all the way back, and there's vertical grips, plenty of grips, lots of flavor. We'll go for that one. That looks very ergonomic and perhaps comfortable, and probably good for the stability of the weapon. But yeah, there's plenty of flavor here in terms of what grips you can throw on it, which is pretty cool. Lots of options if you want. And you can throw on some stocks to increase the recoil control. Maybe. I mean, they're not really letting on to exactly what these things are going to do, but I'm guessing this ultralight one, well, actually, maybe this one will be best at recoil control, because it requires gun nut rank 2. It's also got some sort of cheek padding rest thing there, so it'll be even more comfortable. And you can throw on some grip things. You have it rubberized, makes it more accurate. It increases the accuracy a little bit. Why not, right? Now, I'm pretty sure we can also throw on sleight of hand if we want. Increases the reload speed. Good to offset that, because this drum might be slightly difficult to reload. And of course, you can throw on some sights. The iron sights here are probably sufficient for a shotgun's purposes, but if you want to make it slightly more efficient whilst using in VATS, there's a range of sights you can put on it. And hopefully there's some scopes here, so we can make a sniper status AA12. Not today. That's unfortunate. Let's go for EOTech. It's a Western weapon, right? We'll throw that one on. And that is our JAK 12, or at least one of them. No options for painting this thing. Oh, actually, no, we're not done yet. There's also standard buckshot. There's Dragon's Breath, which I'm guessing it just throws on the incendiary legendary effect. That's more flavor than anything else. Frag rounds, which are actually kind of cool. Gives me flashbacks to the USAS-12 back in the Battlefield 3 days. That's fun. That'll give you a little bit of extra damage as well, and a bonus explosive effect, and appears to be some sort of explosive slug. You don't get that explosive bonus on the slug version, but you don't get any damage bonuses from the slug. Usually they tune that up a little bit, but you'll probably be getting better damage anyway because, well, it's one projectile. You don't have to split that base damage between all of the buckshots that you are firing, the buckshot pellets. So it'll probably be slightly more consistent, of course, over range as well. It'll be far more consistent. Anyways, that's it for the customization. Let's shoot stuff. Oh, yeah. It also does way more damage than a combat shotgun at this point, which is good news. The JAK 12 can be created on a chemistry workbench in one of two ways. One, you either turn a combat shotgun into it. That doesn't require any gun ranks or gun modification ranks. Either does crafting it with materials. So theoretically, you could get this one really easily at the start of the game. 3 screws, 3 steel, 6 plastic, 3 aluminums, and 4 adhesive. That's really easy to get. Okay, there's a possibility for this gun to break your game because of how powerful it is and how easy it is to get, but that's up to you to control whether you want that to break the game or not. Welcome back to the Great Immersive Gunners Plaza. Here is our JAK 12 in remastered form in first person, and it's Chinese-looking cheap EOTech sight. Yeah, that's going to be super useful for us. It's a shotgun. We don't have to be super precise. I will say that I find the red reticule kind of hard to see, so I'm glad I put a laser sight on this thing so I can actually tell where I'm aiming at. That might just be my color blindness doing that, so viewers at home might not have that problem. Here's the problem I do have, and I don't mean to be like super nitpicky, but when you sprint with this thing, it looks like you're about to fall over. Look at that gun shift up and down. Now, I don't know whether that's a thing that happens in Call of Duty or whether that's the actual animation. You gotta remember, I'm a fraud when it comes to Call of Duty because I've never played. I only enjoyed the COD-ported guns in Fallout, so, you know, let me know if it actually looks like that. Otherwise, it's just an animation. Wouldn't call it a cock-up, but just a quirk, I guess. Anyways, take a quick look at this thing in third person. Yep, the grip works. That's great. Here's a couple of other ones that I made. This one's suppressed with a scopy looking reflex sight, just a standard scope or just a aim point there. There's also some black lines to guide my aim in even further, but doesn't really matter. I've got the laser sight to guide my aim in. Now, in terms of balance, I think this is going to be pretty strong anyway, but there's a way where you can completely break this thing. Normally when you fire this thing, it goes this speed, which is way faster than what you'd get out of a combat shotgun, but it gets even crazier than that. Check this. This thing will fire as fast as you can pull the trigger. There's no delay on that. So if you want to make this thing fire at 600 rounds per minute or possibly even more, depending on how fast you click, you totally can. Also, it's very loud, so I might have to check to see if that's loud enough that I don't have to shout over this thing. Next, I've got this one. This one's got the incendiary projectiles, which appear to be just the incendiary legendary effect, so that'll give me very little in the way of extra damage, but there's some sticklers out there. There's some iron sights for you. Moving on, this one is the slug version. Soon to be spam cannon DMR version. If I only had a scope on this thing, my life would be complete. Anyways, I think this one is the only one that I made that doesn't have... Well, this has an angled grip, but looks like we're using these standard animations because, well, that works anyway. But even the stubby grips, they look like they're being held onto properly. So, yeah, some pretty good attention to detail with the animations. What we're going to do, first off, is pause. Okay, I've just turned the game sounds down a little bit because it's a little bit loud. It's funny how you pick up that a lot of the COD modding boys will... Oh, that's not a hit scan projectile. Well, there you go. One thing they're super consistent on and just is the ability to craft them and where you'll find them on a chemistry workbench, but they don't seem to be consistent on audio levels. The Holger was purposely made to have a less audio or less volume, so it doesn't deafen the player, and it's more in line to what you'd expect to see from a... I'm burst firing this thing without even noticing. Sorry, my bad. But... yeah, the Holger was nice and quiet, and there was even a person in the comment section, saying, hey, can you turn the gun's sound up? And Panzer's like, no, I've made it like that, so it doesn't deafen the player. This one, I feel like, has gone in the complete opposite direction. She is loud and is proud, even without the suppressor. At least, for me, for the gunners, it may as well be, I don't know, a mouse running around. You can't hear that. Anyways, now we're in actual combat, and... there I go, spamming the trigger. I'm going to try not to cheese this, but it is what it is. Oh, wow, this is strong. This is very powerful. I didn't expect this. Now, I haven't got any damage numbers modded on, but I probably don't need the damage numbers to demonstrate how particularly devastating this is. And if you need to reload, it's fast, very fast. I've also got the tactical reload version on, so if I reload with a round still in the chamber, I don't have to go through an extra hoop of animations. May as well use slow motion here. Okay, this is the suppressed version, so I'm getting a little bit of extra damage out of it, of course. I'll just drain the magazine. There's the charging handle. Yeah, tactical reload, you love it. Okay, I seem to be incapable of not cheesing this thing. I'm just tapping the trigger. Normally I do that with shotguns. Seriously? Not cool, man. Not cool. And he does the trash talk, saying, I'm dead. We'll see about that, pal. Okay, maybe the only way I could stop cheesing this thing is to perhaps use it in VATS. Why not? We've got a pretty good shot at his head, so... As an automatic weapon, it's a 3-round burst, so... Yeah, it's strong. Very strong indeed. How strong? Probably not strong enough to take this guy's head clean off from back there, but... One shot with the... what's it called? Concentrated fire definitely gets that working. We might be breaching on overpowered at this stage, I must say, but we haven't had a shotgun dominate quite like this. Normally the pump action ones struggle a little bit because of their rate of fire, but there's no such flaw in the JAK 12, at least in this iteration of it, which is good news. Oh, look at that little baby gunner. Cop that, mate. And why not throw one more shell into the magazine? Like, this has been so easy that the combat music hasn't even happened at all. Like, not even your heaviest hitting combat rifles will hit as hard as this, firing the 308 rounds. So, you know, this thing definitely means business. And, oh, hello there. Probably could have used the frag rounds for those sneak crit kills without being detected, but what can you do, eh? Okay, I think I'm gonna make the call. This thing is overpowered. If it's not enough to make the game sweat with combat music on while attacking Gunner's Plaza, which, mind you, is far more gunners than you'd ever experience or face in the vanilla game, then maybe, just maybe, this thing is too powerful. Maybe. You could argue that. Debate in the comments. Okay, let's try a no-cheese swan run. We're gonna sit back and pelt frags at him from back here. I think we're cheesing just quietly. We've almost one-magged him. Okay, just checking. I had thoughts, maybe. Oh, well, technically we only used, what, 6 rounds there because we got that full replenish on the reload there. But you know what? That's enough practice. Let's start actually cheesing things on purpose. You know what? I've figured out that stealth really isn't a requirement for a weapon like this. So, as I think Scarface says, say hello to my little friend. And just when you think it couldn't get any better, I decide to utilize it in slow motion, which makes my fire rate even more ridiculous compared to real time. It's like doing a hit of Jet. Okay, well, if there's any doubts about this thing being overpowered, then they're gone away. I think, for a balancing standpoint, you could probably have it do the exact same damage as a combat shotgun. And since it's got such a high rate of fire, at least if you don't cheese it, and I think it'll be just fine, because I feel like this is too dominant. We've even got time to mess around with these chumps. Where the gunner's at. Or are we just aggroed for no reason? Oh, I see them! I see them! Barely. Well, see that guy? We just got a probe. We probe with our attacks, and for some reason I lasted the entire time in slow motion. Damn. That was scary. See, even the NPCs are watching this shotgun and thinking, holy shit, that is a proper weapon of mass destruction. Ah, there's a mantis. You're fucking dead, mate. You're fucking dead to me. Yes. Roast him. Did you like that kill, Mr. Mirelurk? No? Oh, speaking of lobsters, you know what? I'm not done kicking him while he's down. It wasn't enough to gang bash him yesterday. This time it's going to be a little bit more personal. Okay, this time we are going to be utilizing stealth, but not with any longer range projectiles. This is going to be personal, so we'll sneak and wait till he's just in range. If we use this a little bit of visual cover, I feel like we'll be in good shape. Maybe. That should be good enough, right? A little bit more than half a magazine and he is dead. Okay, write this in the paper, Piper. Mad Aussie Sheila, mad blonde Aussie Sheila with gun annihilates Commonwealth. Put that on a YouTube thumbnail. I won't do that, but you could pretend that I did it and laugh at it because it's like one of those dumb Ben Shapiro taglines or video titles. Anyways, so if you'd like to see this thing in your game, check it out. If you're really hankering for an extremely powerful shotgun that allow you to breeze through the game super fast, then look no further than the JAK 12. And just thinking about what I was going on about before with this thing being accessible to a low-level player thanks to its ease of crafting on a chemistry workbench, I did not realize the magnitude this power of weapon could give you until I started using it. So now it's even more so scarily broken. The fact that you can get this so early on with such little resources. Of course, obviously, feeding it will be a little bit of a problem, but you can pretty much sell every other weapon you got in the game, everything you pick up, every other ammo type, and pick up exclusively shotgun rounds, and I think you'll be just fine indeed. So, I'll be looking to throw you a link in the description on this one. Download it if you're interested. If you want to find a more balanced approach, there's also the original JAK 12. If there's been ported at this stage, then you'll find it. But it's a good weapon mod. Perhaps a little bit of number tweaking. Normally I don't complain so much, but my goodness, this thing was... I think it's too much. A little bit too much. It makes the game a little bit too easy if I can just slow-mo and immediately kill the giant lobster man, the rock lobster, in 2 seconds. So we could probably use some number tweaks, but fun to use. But the flip side of that is after a while it'll just make the game less compelling because there's no challenge, no reason to fight. Takes all the honor out of it, I suppose. So beware of that. Perhaps utilizing the lesser receivers might be a better way to use this thing if you feel like you're want more of a balanced experience. But if you don't, by all means, use this thing and cheese with it. It's fun for a while. Thank you very much for watching, guys.